Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this video we're gonna be looking at the new MAFEX the Batman from the latest Batman movie. Now this is a figure that a lot of us collectors were waiting for a long time because we already have few McFarlane versions of this Batman. We also have the SH Figure Arts version, and MAFEX is coming last one in this race. But from my point of view, and this is a heavy spoiler for the rest of this video, I feel like this is by far the best 6-inch Pattinson Batman that we have so far. We were waiting for a long time for this guy to release. MAFEX was pushing that release date further and further, and then once it was actually released, they had to stop all the orders because they messed up. They printed Marvel on the back of this figure instead of DC. And so that pushed this release even further, and now it's finally here. So first we'll take a look at the box. Here we see the front of the box. The figure is on the inside with all of the accessories, Batman logo, MAFEX, promo shot of the figure, DC here in the corner. On the side we have more logos, and we see Bruce Wayne without the Batman mask. Some nice promo shots on the back of the box, and they are showing you all of the accessories that you get in this release. On the other side of the box, a nice promo shot of the whole figure, logo and Batman profile on the top, and legalese down here at the bottom. So let's open up the box and let's see what this figure actually looks like. So here is our MAFEX the Batman out of the box, and I must say that the proportions of this figure, the way that the whole figure looks, is beautiful. I'm really liking what I'm seeing here at first sight. Looking like this in a neutral standing pose, it looks so good. I mean, the silhouette of whole figure looks good and the body looks natural, and I feel like MAFEX is getting better and better all the time with their figures. They do excel with their comic book releases, and their live action figures can be hit or miss from time to time, but I feel like they really did a great job on this one. So let's take a closer look at the figure. The sculpt of the face is really nice. Skin tone is maybe a bit too pale, but there are kind of a few different tones. It's hard to see under these lights. The lips are well painted. You can see the nostrils down here, and the mask looks really good. Nicely sculpted. You can see the stitching all around the mask and even here in the back. The horns are sharp, and this is a hard plastic, so be careful with that. The eyes are nicely painted, as you can see. And yeah, this definitely looks like the Batman as we saw him in the movie. It looks like the actor playing the role, so that's a huge plus, of course. The suit is also nicely sculpted. We have tones of dark gray and black as it is in the movie. Sculpting is great. Bat symbol here on the chest looks really good with some of those technical details on it, and we see even scuffings because he does use this as a batarang, and there is a feature for this figure that we'll talk about in a bit. But I love every sculpted detail on this figure. All of these lines and even wrinkles on the undersuit, as we see here on the arm, gauntlets with these pieces that I don't know what they are. Are these some kind of weapons or ammunition? I'm not sure. I don't remember seeing him using it in the movie. On the gloves, these iconic Batman pieces that are present on this version as well. A little bit of yellow details on the suit. We can see that they even sculpted how the suit is connected here, and that's great. The belt is really busy. There is a lot of stuff, a lot of these pouches and a lot of things connected, hanging from the belt. I'm guessing that this is a storage for the flare that he's using in the movie. Every detail is nicely sculpted and painted, as you can see. This strap, I'm guessing, should be connected to the holster that is attached to the leg, and it is not really connected. It's a separate piece, so this should represent the illusion of being connected, but it's not connected for real because that would probably hinder the articulation. In this way, you can fake it, you can hide it when you are posing the figure. The legs look really good. I saw that few people had some negative thoughts about the way that his thighs are designed, but we'll see how it looks like when we try to pose him. Anyway, the rest of the legs look really good. We have these details on the side and even more lines and wrinkles sculpted in. We have huge knee pieces, some more yellow details here, and the boots also look good. You can see how they separated the foot from the upper part of the boot. The lower part of the feet is also nicely sculpted, so I feel like they really did a great job on this one. And we also have to talk about the cape. The cape is made out of some kind of, I'm guessing, fake leather material. It is wired on both sides, and the two wires on the sides are thicker, so they are really holding the position. But then you get two thinner wires in between, and it's going here and here, and that just gives you even more stability when you want to pose the cape. And the cape is connected to the figure in a way that it goes underneath this chest piece. And we can remove the chest piece. You can see that we have these two holes in which the cape pieces are going in, and that is a nice design choice because that makes the cape secure, and the wires in it are useful. The cape is not flopping around his neck, you know. It is functional, and it gives you some great posing options. Now let's take a look at his accessories. As always with all of the MAFEX releases, you get this certifying genuine product piece of paper. This is a certificate that affirms that this is the original official figure. And then they also give you this type of MAFEX stand, and you get a few different attachments for the head as well. And I'm someone who actually prefers these MAFEX stands. I use them in all of my posing videos. I love these stands. They tend to be loose when you assemble them, but you can always tighten the screws on the joints, and in that way the stand will be much more sturdier. Now we'll go first through all the interchangeable hands that he comes with. First, there are two fisted hands on the figure already, but he also comes with a ton of alternate hand options. So you get a pair of these gripping hands, this pair of holding hands, and then another pair of holding hands, and these are all molded depending on what accessories they should hold. We have two trigger finger hands, and then another pair of trigger finger hands, but these are more open, as you can see. And then we have three pairs of action open hands. You get these, and then more open palm hands like these, and finally this pair of more dynamic open hands. You get an interchangeable holster with a grappling gun holstered on the inside, and there is a peg and a peg hole on the back, and you just have to replace this with the empty holster that is already on the figure. You also get a grappling gun with a hook attached to the gun, and this is really nicely sculpted. I mean, look at these well-painted silver details on it, and I mean, all around it's nicely sculpted and nicely painted, which is to be expected from a company like Medicom toy MAFEX. And then you get a pair of these grappling devices that are usually attached to his arms, and I will show you how it looks like in a minute. He comes with a flare stick that we saw him using in the movie. It would be great if this had a kind of flame effect on it, like it is ignited, you know, it's fired up, but it is what it is. It's still a nice accessory. You also get a pair of interchangeable forearms, and that is because of those small grappling devices that we saw a moment ago that should be attached here on the inside of the forearm, and I will show you that in a moment as well. And then he comes with a removed batarang from his chest, and you also get an alternate chest plate that has the batarang removed, and here are pegs in the back of it, and the batarang is nicely sculpted with some small yellow details on it, here on the top as well, and on the back. And then MAFEX gave us 3 alternate head sculpts, which is amazing. We get a more angry face expression with grinning teeth, and this one maybe doesn't look as good as the one that is already on the figure. but it's still great to have this option. The teeth are well sculpted and painted, the angry eyes are still nice. We have all of the same details from the first head, so the stitching on the mask and everything. He also comes with an empty Batman mask piece. This is also such a nice accessory because they also gave us two unmasked Bruce Wayne heads, so let's take a look at those. First we have this version with messed up hair and a makeup around his eyes. The sculpt turned out fantastic. I was worried that the final product won't look as good as we saw it on the promo shots, but it turned out to be really good. I mean, it's really close to what we saw in those shots, and this really looks like the actor, so I'm extremely satisfied with this. And then they also gave us the third head sculpt, and it's another Bruce Wayne head sculpt, but this time without the eye makeup, and this is a clean Bruce Wayne face, and you can see that his hairstyle is much more tidier. It looks much better here, and we can compare the two head sculpts so that you can see that they both look really good. And what I said about the hair, you can see it here. And you also get this neck piece that is interchangeable with the other head as well. And so yeah, I must say that MAFEX did an amazing job on these head sculpts. Okay, so let's go back to these grapple hooks and let me show you how are they meant to be used with this figure. So as I said, you get the alternate forearm, and what you need to do is of course detach the existing forearm and then attach the alternate one. And when we compare the two, you can see that the grappling hook is here sculpted on this forearm, and it is when it's not in function, when it is folded in. And on this alternate forearm on the inside, you can see that the grappling gun is missing. And so what you have to do is take the alternate hand that has a more opened grip, and it's a trigger finger hand, and you just wedge in that grappling gun and you just attach it back to the figure. And so now you can have your Batman firing this weapon from the top of the police station. This looks really good. And then let me just show you that the trigger finger hand with a tighter grip is meant to be used with his larger grapple gun. This is how he looks like with an alternate angry head, and we can compare the two side by side. This is how he looks like with that alternate Bruce Wayne head, and this is the one that has attached that alternate neck piece on it with much more skin visible. And again, how the two Bruce Wayne heads look side by side. Let's now take a look at his articulation. The head is on a ball joint, and then there is another ball joint at the bottom of the neck. So together that gives you some nice range of movement. You still get a decent range. And this is how much he can look down. He can tilt side to side and of course rotate 360. As I already mentioned, the cape is wired, so that gives you some nice posing options. We have a decent butterfly joint. It's not great, it doesn't have some great range, but it is there and it is good enough for a character or for a figure that is in this kind of suit. Shoulder pieces are on a hinge on the inside of the shoulder, and they are removable, as you can see, and you can easily connect them back on, but they do go out of the way when the arms go out. The arms rotate 360 without a problem. There is a nice bicep swivel. We have double bend in the elbow that gives us this much. The wrists are a standard MAFEX type of ball peg wrists, which turn in any direction however you want, but you just have to be careful in which direction that ball peg is turned so that you don't break the wrist peg. We have two cuts in the torso, up here and down behind the belt, so the upper part rotates and it tilts a little bit, and then the lower part turns as well, and it also has a little bit of swivel. So together our Batman can crunch forward this much, back this much, and then rotate side to side. I forgot to mention that the arms can move out this much, The thighs have a swivel up here, a little bit of swivel, and then another swivel here. And so you get some nice range of movement. The legs go out this much. And see, this is when these thighs become to look a bit strange. And this is what people were complaining about. It doesn't bother me that much. You can always hide it with dynamic posing. There is no drop down in the hips. Legs move forward this much, back this much. Double bend in the knee gives us this much. Feet move forward this much, back this much. We have a toe joint and a decent ankle pivot that could be better, but it is what it is. Let's now compare our latest Batman with some other figures. Here he is with MAFEX, The Dark Knight Returns, The Dark Knight Triumphant Batman, and MAFEX, The Dark Knight Returns Superman. Here he is with the SH Figure Arts, The Dark Knight Batman, and MAFEX The Joker 2.0 version. And finally, here he is with McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Batman with Battle Damage from Dark Knight's Metal, and McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Justice League Superman. And obviously these are 7-inch figures, so that's why they are much taller than MAFEX one. So overall, I have to say that I'm extremely satisfied with this new MAFEX Batman figure. The sculpting looks beautiful. I feel like it's accurate to how this guy looked in the movie. The combination of plastic and the soft goods cape that imitates leather is really nice. The fact that it's wired and that it's extremely well wired also just makes this figure that much better. The amount of accessories is great. The likeness to the character is really spot on. I feel like it's the best in 6-inch scale that we have at this point. The downside of this figure is probably the ankle articulation, which could be better because you want to put this guy in more dynamic and fighting poses, and those ankle joints are kind of limited. I'm not sure why that is, but unfortunately it is what it is. You can always use the stand which comes with the figure, as I said, but even with those gripes that are really minimal for me, I would say that this is such a beautiful looking Batman, such a great representation of the character from the latest movie. I also have to say that the joints are really nice, they are all sturdy, nothing is loose on my copy of the figure. The only problem that I noticed at the moment is with that alternate hand for his larger grappling gun. It doesn't fit on the wrist bag as good as I would like it to, but maybe it's something with the plastic and the heat. I will have to see what I can do about that. All in all, I would say this is a great release by MAFEX, and if you want a great 6-inch representation of this version of the character, I would say that this is the way to go. I would strongly recommend this figure. Stay tuned for a posing video for this guy. It will be on the channel soon. Also check out some of my other videos. There are a lot of them on the channel, and I'm sure you'll find something that you'll enjoy in. Special thank you goes out to my supporters on Patreon who are helping me to keep making these videos for my channel, so thank you guys. And of course, to the rest of you, thank you all for watching and for being here with me, and I'll see ya in the next video.